Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of Cruel and Beautiful, Eye of the Dragon, Rabbit Hole, and King Dio. And as of last weekend, I have joined the elite. I have joined the masters. I have joined the Splatoon, you could say. That's right, I have indeed beaten Splatoon 2 Octopass. And by beaten Octopass, I don't mean like just seeing the ending. I do mean beating Agent 3, Inner Agent 3. I have surpassed the hero within. I have accomplished everything that the single-player campaign of Splatoon 2 has to offer, finally. I finally got around to doing it. I've been meaning to do it since the DLC came out, because, you know, I love the game. I thought it was great. Played it to death. It's still one of my most played Switch games. Generally speaking, every time I played this, I popped this one in. I just ended up playing the multiplayer modes over and over and over again instead of like actually getting the single player done. But I finally got it done. I finally got it out of the way, and now I can finally relish the multiplayer without feeling guilty about like there being unfinished single player content. What are my thoughts on the Octopass expansion? 10 out of 10. Not only one of the best shooter campaigns I think I've ever played in my life, it's probably one of the best Nintendo games, period. The Octopass expansion alone, it's not even like the base game, which really, honestly, is kind of a rehash of the original. Like, I think Octopass expansion specifically is a stellar platform game with third-person shooter sort of elements. It's so compelling to see like all the amazing ways they creatively use all your abilities in this one, from like jetpacks, like fighting specific bosses with these special weapons, like having to hit targets, like having to snipe enemies like on these narrow platforms. Like, it is an incredibly fun, addicting single player campaign, and quite challenging too. I had a lot of trouble with a lot of this. Girl Power Station in particular gave me like nightmares. But Inner Agent 3, after about like 4 hours. So what is Inner Agent 3? I keep going back to this. Inner Agent 3 is the true final boss to Octopass expansion. Like, it is like a 5-phase fight against like the protagonist from the first game. So it's basically the equivalent of Splatoon equivalent. It's the Splatoon equivalent of meeting the Red again in Pokemon Gold and Silver on the top of Mount Silver, right? That's what you get out of Splatoon 2. You get this crazy ass boss fight against this crazy ass motherfucker Agent 3, and it is downright brutal. It took me about like I was streaming the entire time. I want to say like about 4 hours to do this. Like you could see this in the last couple of Black Cat shows where I was just come on, play for a couple of hours, lose, get better and better and better, and then finally somehow managing to beat it. It was an amazing experience. One of the most difficult Nintendo boss fights I've ever fought, I think. I don't want to say the most difficult, because I still can't beat Mike Tyson consistently. I think now I could probably beat Agent 3 consistently now that I know what I'm doing. But like, out of all the bosses that I can beat, like, I have to say that like this has to be one of the hardest in Nintendo history. Like, top 10 for sure. I can't think of anyone that I've struggled with more than this. What super difficult final boss are there? Like, I guess I can think of like some JRPG super bosses, but they aren't typically, all that prevalent in like these Nintendo RPGs. Like, nothing like really came to mind. Like, nothing I've played recently, I think, kind of matched up to this thing. Like, overcoming Agent 3 was like an incredible experience and like a genuine accomplishment. Like, this was a lot of fun, and I would challenge anyone to do it. Honestly, like, I was saying this all throughout the Octopass campaign, but the entire thing is like far more difficult than I think than games like Doom Eternal or Titanfall 2 or any of these other like mature first-person shooters. Like, Splatoon has like so much going on. There's so much more like things that can kill you. So much more versatility in your character and like the things you can do and the environments and things like that. Like Splatoon is just an extremely well made IP, and I think with Splatoon 3 it'll kind of establish itself as being like one of Nintendo's best. I definitely don't see them like dropping the ball with Splatoon 3. If anything, I expect them to establish this as like their new biggest franchise, like right up there with Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and Mario. I think it's already like on its way to being like a top 5 Nintendo franchise. Like just one more entry, I think, will really put it up there. Like it's only just behind Metroid in sales right now with a grand total of 2 entries. So like another 10 million units sold, and that'll put them like right up with much more popular franchises. I am very excited to see that happen. I kind of regret not being able to play more of this game, more of this series, because I've been so busy these past 6 years, right? I've been so busy, like, with my personal life and really trying to, like, to change my life for the better, and I don't regret that at all. If anything, I am very, very grateful for, I'm very, very thankful that I did that, but I do feel like I have missed out a lot on, like, the ins and outs of like Splatoon. Like I haven't kept up with the meta. I don't know what the community is like. I haven't really experienced it. I suppose like Splatoon is like kind of the point where I've kind of like grown past the Nintendo community, where I just don't follow everything that's happening anymore. It's been a gradual process, but I think I'm finally there now, where I'm just not really actively paying attention to these idiots online. I'm just like playing my games, enjoying myself, and focusing on my work and my career and my future. And I'm very excited to see that happen. And despite that, though, I will still be playing Splatoon and enjoying it for what it is, as much as I am able to. And because when you get right down to it, no matter how old you get, Splatoon is still a great video game.